Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Claudius Sheep and we are playing Democracy 3 in our USA communist run. We are entering our third year now of our first term in office. So that's very nice. Let's briefly recapitulate where we are. So the first year we spent on addressing some of these red issues that you can see over here. And that is starting to bear some fruits. I think we should see over here. That's we overcame the skills shortage and the ghetto situation, so that's very nice to see. The second year we spent a little bit on efforts to balance our budget over here. We are now running a surplus of about 10 billion US dollar per quarter, which is nice, but which still is of course not necessarily that great compared to the overall debt level that we have accumulated over here. So you can see the big jump that did come over here when we increased our income taxes. Now, the nice thing about the income taxes is that it does indeed balance our budget. The problem about that though is the popularity over here. We did eke our way slowly into probably winning the election, and then our approval rating just tanked as we increased that income tax. So that is something that I think we should be addressing over the remaining time of our time in office over here, so that we do get re-elected at the end of 4 years. I think the last year will be spent on proper campaigning, and now we have a little bit of time to influence our voters groups. So let's briefly look at our voters group as we enter year 3. So a couple of people are very, very happy. The retired, the patriots, the commuters, the conservatives and the state employees. Patriots though, slightly less so, because we also decreased massively actually, our military funding. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but we'll have to live with that. There are, however, some people who are really, really upset with us. The middle income people, the trade unionists, the capitalists, which is not surprising since we are turning the country communist, and the liberals. Now, the middle income, we can't really do much about that. As you can see, the income tax is really, really what is driving that these people don't like us that much. The homelessness does have some influence, but really, you can see, yeah, minus 80% approval from the middle income due to the income tax. So in order to overcome that, we would at some point need to decrease the income tax over here again, and I don't really right now see the budgetary ability to do so. The capitalists, again, I think it's somewhat inherent in our communist run that they dislike us. There's a little bit of a problem. I think about how many? About 40% of the population is capitalist. The other 60% also will be socialist, so that's very nice. It would be great if we could feed these people a little bit. If we could increase the number of people who are communists, that would be great. There are a couple of factors which are driving them down. The small business grants, the labor laws in particular. The labor laws are very, very low. That is something that we might want to increase over here to something that is a little bit more moderate, and I think that would be a good idea, because everyone who is a socialist is not a capitalist, and therefore wouldn't hate us quite as much. So yeah, that would be great. Also, I think the most critical issue though are the liberals over here. The liberals do make up about 2/3 of our population, and they purely hate us. They hate us due to a couple of things: intelligence services, prisoner tagging, homelessness, most importantly, intelligence services, armed police. So yeah, pretty much all law and order things are decreasing how much the liberals like us. So that is something that we want to address. However, as the very first thing, I want to increase a couple of other things, and that is, we do need to make sure that our tax situation stays stable. And I'm very worried that with this amount of income tax, I think we should be trying to make sure that that stays as is. So we'll be looking at the tax situation over here, and the first thing that we're going to introduce are public tax returns. Now, that's not necessarily popular, but it does prevent various bad things from happening. Most importantly, tax evasion, I think, and black markets are some of the things that we want to address over here. So yeah, that I think is something that we'll want to introduce right now, and we'll make all details public to everyone. Again, the liberals will hate us even more, so will the wealthy people, but the socialists are going to like us a little bit more. and equality is going to go up again and again. We are taking this measure just to prevent our tax base from eroding too badly. Now, the other thing that I think we should try to address is the homelessness situation over here, because everyone sort of dislikes that, especially the poor. We also want to really address the alcohol abuse over here. Even though it doesn't address anyone directly, it's still costing us 56 billion. And that is about 50% of our surplus or so. Likewise, the internet crime is costing us a little bit in terms of money, but more importantly, it does increase crime, which everyone hates, and it directly influences everyone's happiness with us by 8%. So that's actually pretty strong, as you can see over here. So it would be great if we could really get rid of this at any point soon. Rare earth crisis, I'm hopeful that this will go down further as we increase foreign relations, but we'll have to see a little bit about that, because as you can see, there's a timing effect over here, and as we progress over the years, it will start to push up naturally a little, as you can maybe see over here, but yeah, we don't need to deal with that in some fashion. Brain drain, it's not something that we'll ever be able to do anything about. Right, so alcohol abuse and internet crime. In terms of internet crime, I think what we need to do is internet censorship, which we can't afford right now, so I'm going to hold off for that for now. On the alcohol abuse front, I think what we'll actually need to do is increase the alcohol law. Now again, this is not going to be liked by the liberals, but it is going to drive down alcohol consumption pretty massively, so that'd be nice. The youth don't really like that. Violent crime will go down, crime will go up a little as people compete more for illegal alcohol, but again, alcohol consumption would really go down, so I do want to do this. That does leave us with 10 political capital. I think what we should do is try to appease the liberals slightly by whatever means we can. So I think what I want to do is go to prisons over here and decrease the funding for the prisons by 10 billion. That's not nothing, but crime will go down. Liberals will like it a lot, actually. Conservatives will also like it. State employees will like it. There will be more state employees, and unemployment is going to go down just a tiny scooch. But I think that's worthwhile, so let's go ahead and do this. 3 more political capital. I don't think that's enough to do anything worthwhile whatsoever. Let's briefly check over here. Carpooling, no. Youth councils. It's nice, but not really required. Economy, yeah, nothing of that is anything that we need. I think we can save up the political capital over here. There's one more thing that we do need to resolve, and that is a DNA database. So police chiefs are requesting that they be allowed to build up a global database of everyone's DNA to assist them in fighting crime. And we're going to prevent that because I think the liberals will really be opposed to that. So we are trying to appease them, and it would be lovely if they wouldn't hate us quite as much. So let's see where that takes us. So, firstly, GDP is going down. That's not that great. I would have hoped that it goes up a little bit as we have resolved the skills shortage over here. So, yeah, that's not great. On the other hand, we get a miracle operation, so everyone is a little bit more happy. That's really nice to see. Crime is coming up, apparently. Health is very stable still. Education stable. Unemployment really high, which does have various negative effects. Racial tension including, and homelessness. So yeah, we'll need to address unemployment a little bit more strongly. Poverty also coming up due to that. But the asthma epidemic is at an end, so that's very good as well, because that means that the parents will like us a little bit more. So that's great to see. Let's look at the economy over here. Yeah, the relative economy is really tanking over here. Why is that? Why is the economy doing so badly? Our relative economy. I still hope that as we still have a little bit of a surplus, I would hope that the global economy starts to recover a little bit. And that should allow us to earn more, spend off, or do a little bit away with our debt, and hopefully get to a better rating at some point. Yeah, as you can see over here, parents really love us now that the asthma epidemic is at an end. Liberals, I think you'll like us a little bit more, mainly due to the increased funding for a couple of things. Yeah, but you dislike the public tax returns. Yeah, and you really liked our decision on the DNA database, so that's nice to see. Alcohol law, yeah, the youth is a little bit worried about that, but hopefully it's going to bring down alcohol consumption pretty drastically over the next couple of turns, and that would be really lovely. I really hope that the rare earth crisis goes away on its own, but we'll have to see about that. Homelessness now, though, that is something that I think we should address a little bit more aggressively. So what can we do about homelessness? I think the proper communist approach would be actually, I think it's public services, isn't it? So, where is it? Can't seem to find it. Economy? State housing? So I'm looking for the state housing, yeah, state housing, welfare of course, yeah, that makes sense. The thing about it, it's really expensive. It would take a lot of time to implement, so I'm not sure whether we can do that right now, specifically with the budget that we have, so I think we might be referring to some of these more cruder things, so ban second home ownership, or maybe medicine tax. I'm not sure whether that would help that much, but it would raise a little bit of money, so it might at least be helpful. So that is something that we can think about. So what else can we do? Unemployment benefits would certainly help to decrease homelessness, but again, it's very expensive. I mean, just to increase it to some level, it would be already 70 billion. So yeah, I don't think that's particularly helpful. So let's not do that for now. I think what we want to look at instead is, hopefully we can do that. Rural, I'm looking for rural development grants. There we go. It's relatively expensive in terms of political capital, 27 political capital of our 31 over here, and somewhat expensive in actual cost, but it's going to be hugely popular with voters, on one hand, specifically with farmers, and the poor earnings is going to go up, unemployment is going to come down very drastically, equality is going to go up, GDP is going to go up, and there are going to be more farmers who will like us more, so what's not to like? I'm going to spend a little bit more on that, just to make sure that all of these effects are maxed out, specifically GDP, I think, should hopefully maybe pay for that to a large extent, so I'm happy with that choice. That does leave us with not a lot of political capital, but I think that's going to be alright. Let's take the next turn over here and see whether the effects will be positive. Capitalist plot, so here is the first thing that's a little bit more dangerous for us. Our intelligence network has identified a potential serious plot by a number of wealthy industrialists to force the overthrow of the government. The plot seems to be in the early stages and we're not in a position to make arrests yet, but it is clear that some capitalists consider it desirable to engineer a replacement of the current government. We should be very cautious. So yeah, that's an issue. GDP is coming up a little bit, the economy is doing well, unemployment is extremely high though. Crime is coming down a little, that's nice to see. Health, of course, all of that seems to be fine. Poverty is coming down a little bit. Economic forecast. Global economy is still a little bit in recession. Ooh, and our income just tanked. Why did our income come down so drastically? That's interesting to see. Can I see the income history of that? Very, very interesting. I think sales tax should be alright. Yeah, but we are running a small deficit now, and that's only because our income decreased. I think it's probably because of the GDP. At least it looked like the GDP was coming down a little bit, but yeah, that's probably just a delayed fraction of that. So we'll have to be very, very careful about that. But I do hope that it's going to increase a little over time. Let's look at the freedom of information. There have been calls for law to increase. Yes, I think we do want to have freedom of information. It is essential that we have this law passed on as one of the checks and balances required of a truly free society. Again, this is mainly to really appease our liberals over here, who still don't really like us. As you can see, We are starting to get up a little bit back over here, so the current value of voting intentions is 49% in our favor, so that's good to see. Yes, and the rare earth crisis seems to be coming down, so that's extremely helpful because of the lack in GDP, and because this prevents another very positive thing from going on. So I like to see that very, very much. Let's have a brief look at our productivity, make sure that it's not coming down too strongly, which indeed it isn't, so that's good to see as well. Homelessness is still increasing, and everyone dislikes that. Yeah, so we'll have to be mindful of that. Alcohol consumption is coming down as the alcohol law kicks into effect, so that's good to see. Internet crime, still a very serious thing for pretty much everyone in our entire society. So I think let's briefly look at that. So everyone suffers from internet crime by about 7.21%. It's going to come down a little bit more over here, but not enough to go over the stop trigger over here. So let's keep in mind 7.2%. At the same time, I think what we can do is law and order. Internet censorship. Again, very expensive in terms of political capital, and liberals will not like it. I think to a large extent, yeah. But it's going to reduce internet crime very strongly, so I'm very happy, and it does feel like the right thing to do for a communist society. So let's introduce internet censorship. It's going to bring down technology slightly, which might actually work in our favor a little bit. The youth and the liberals will not like it by far, but it's going to get rid of internet crime. So I'm very happy to introduce that. We should really try to make sure that the liberals don't really hate us though. So let's try to see where we can go from over there. Implement new policies. I don't think there's enough really in terms of political capital to do anything for now, so let's go ahead and roll with that and hope that next turns are going to be smooth. Capitalist plot. God damn it. Right, so we do have tax. God damn it, it's just one turn. It was just one turn where it was above that. It was just one turn. God damn it. Yeah. That's a bit of an issue, because this means that our income probably just completely tanked. Let's look at the economic forecast. Yeah, there you can see our income really got out of hand, so that's absolutely no good. We are driving a massive deficit for now. And the problem is, of course, that it's nice that it's below the start trigger now, but it really needs to come down below the stop trigger to make sure that we can't, that this stops. And I'm not sure that it will. This is costing us 100 billion per turn, and it's reducing all of these income taxes, so it's really drastic. And this is probably costing us even more. Yeah, it's costing us 12% of all of our income, so it's really drastic, and we'll need to make sure that this comes down. I'll have to look up what we can do about that. This is nice though. Homelessness, still a big issue. Youth is starting to really dislike us due to internet censorship and all the other things. Popularity is coming down again consequently, so that's no good. I do hope that the internet crime is gonna develop a little bit better, and GDP at least is coming up due to the rare earth crisis ending, so that's nice to see, and I do hope that there will be something new developing soon. But yeah, this is an issue. Right, what can we do in terms of taxes then? I think there's no more that we can do in terms of automatically collecting the tax. Law and order. Is there anything that looks like it could help us collect our money and reduce the black markets and so on? What, wiretapping? Maybe? Witness protection, curfews, ID cards. Electronic direct. No, no, I don't think there is that much that we can do over here. I think the economy is doing, the environment is doing fine for now. Public services, subsidies, education. We really need to make sure that we are addressing these things, especially the tax evasion. That's really killing us at this moment. So let's see, it would go down by 9%. I think each of these is representing about 4%, so it's not going to be enough. It's really not going to be enough. Plus 2, plus 3, plus 33. It might just be, but it's going to be a long time. It's going to be 4 turns at the very least for this to come really into effect. And our minister over here is not quite as effective as I would like her to be. So the question is really, do we bring down our income tax over here? Lowering that doesn't cost that much in terms of money. And we should maybe briefly look at the brain drain over here. So it's about at 72%. If it was... Briefly check that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16? 16, yeah, 16. 16 times 4 seems to be 72, so each of these seems to be 4. It would be rather nice if we got rid of the brain drain. So if we got to a point where where the brain drain effect of the income tax is only 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what, like 36%? So at what point would that happen? Where's brain drain? There we are. So 36%, that's not at 62%. 65%. Black market and tax evasion would go down a little bit, unemployment would go down a little bit, middle income would like us a little bit more. The wealthy people would like us a little bit more, that's immaterial though. Quality would come down a little bit, that's not quite as nice. But most importantly, we'd be losing a lot of money, so about a trillion at 65% and at 7. We are losing 150 million. But I think it might be worthwhile, so let's go to 65% over here. Hope that that's going to be enough to elevate all of these situations and make sure that this is alright. I really hope that we did make the right decision over here. And I think in terms of the... To get a little bit of the capital back, I think we might want to increase the... do a medicine tax over here. Or we could ban second home ownership. Which wouldn't be the worst either. Where is it? Ben? Ah, it's too expensive. We can't do it right now. So medicine tax, I'm not sure. I think it would increase brain drain as well. And probably do the other thing. So let's see that we can stop the tax evasion and all of that for now rather than go into this right now. So I think that's going to be alright to hold off on that for now, just a short while, and see where that goes. By the way, let's check what year it is. So yeah, I think we have one more turn. GM food proposal. Do we want to allow it or do we want to ban it? I think again we're gonna do whatever the liberals are not gonna extremely dislike. So, and they do dislike the internet censorship by a lot. But we do need to address the homelessness. It's really our number one priority, I think, for now. But we can't do it. We can't do state housing. It's way too expensive. We can't ban second home ownership. We don't have the political capital. So yeah, it's simply not something that we can do. So what I would rather do then is state subsidies? Where is it? Government subsidies for unions. So that is rather cheap. Not so much in terms of political capital, but it is something that we really should like because of this item over here, socialism. It does increase socialist membership. Capitalists dislike it, trade unionists do like it though. Wages will come up, trade unionist membership will come up, and socialist membership will come up by 7%. So that's 7% of people who will not be extremely enraged by us, but moderately pleased. So that's good to see, and I think that's going to be a very good choice for us. I should briefly check. I do dislike that this is all the time. Right, so legal aid, we can increase that. Liberals will like it a little bit more. Poor, socialist, equality, all of that is nice. So yeah, surely let's go ahead and do that. With that, we don't have enough political capital to do anything, so let's get over here and see what's going on. So, couple of good things, couple of bad things. Nobel Prize. GDP is going to go up, patriots, liberals, and patriots. Everyone will like it, so that's extremely good for us. Especially because patriot membership is going to go up. Technological advantage, because the rare earth crisis has stopped, so that shot up as well. GDP is going to increase a little bit, productivity is going to increase a little bit, so that's very nice to see. Egalitarian society, so we have reached one of the most important milestones over here. Everyone likes that they live in a very equal society, so that's very nice to see as well. We have gotten a new major party donor, so that's very nice to see. 2 of them actually, so that's extremely good for us. But street gangs is of course not so nice for us. Tourism is coming down, crime is going up, conservatives dislike it. There are fewer liberals, that's nice to see. Retired people dislike it. And everyone dislikes it. And it was just one turn and it's low again. God damn it. Right, so we'll have to see about that. GDP, how does it look? Yeah, it's somewhat stable. I think it might go up a little bit with the technological advantage. How does it then look in terms of our budget? Yeah, our income is really in free fall over here, and the debt is decreasing, so that's really not great. We really need tax evasion to end over here. But it is coming down a little bit at least. Is it gonna be enough? I don't think so. Well, that's about, what, 8? It might just be enough to fall below that. Just be enough. How about black market? Yeah, that should end sooner at least. Should recover a little bit of money. Yeah, but we'll need to see about that. How about internet crime? Internet censorship, you should stop though soon, so that's nice to see. Popularity is increasing again, so that's good. Although alcohol abuse is finally coming down. Mainly I think due to alcohol consumption coming down, which again is mainly due to the alcohol law. So that at least is good. So we do have one more year in front of us. I think that's going to be a very tough year. If we don't get rid of these, or if the debt is spiraling out of control, which it very much looks like it might. I'm very nervous about this situation over here. So we'll have to look into that in a little bit more depth, and we really have to address that while simultaneously campaigning. So the last year is in front of us. Let's briefly look at the socialist membership over here. It's really flat, but I think it should be coming up a little bit over time, as we made a couple of decisions in that regard. Trade unionists, you like us a little bit more. That's nice to see. I think we're going to address the labor laws very shortly, even though that's going to decrease productivity, but productivity is pretty much maxed out anyway, and there's also the technological advantage. So it was maxed out before that, and now it has an effect of 13.3%. By the way, brain drain should be coming down as well, and that's going to have a hugely positive effect on GDP. So I'm very positive actually that that we got rid of that, so that's nice to see. I think we found a level of income tax where that is really nice to see. But still, with the tax evasion as high it is, we'll have to do some work over here. So that being said, I thank you guys for watching, and I'm excited to see you guys in next time when it's the final year of the campaign, and I hope we don't lose it. So thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.